Time now for the Peter Channel Morning News on this Tuesday morning, December 13th, 2016. Got on! Good morning to you all on this lovely Tuesday morning, December the 13th, 2016. Here the time is 8:40 a.m. in the morning time. And we have a temperature of 27 degrees here in Knocknear, and today's high will be 40 degrees. And here now, the Peter Cello Morning News at 8:40 on this Tuesday morning. Here, top story is Exxon Mobil Corporation Chief Executive Officer Rex Sosa will be nominated as President-elect Donald Trump's Secretary of State, extended a potential confrontation battle with the U.S. Istanbul, despite serious Trump to the besiege, Aleppo see death under endorsement of this government. What may be their final moments of social media posts and telephone calls. President-elect Donald Trump announced late Monday night that he would hand over the control of the business and the adult sons before his inauguration of other companies would make no new deals while in office. And Trump also put former Texas Governor Rick Perry for Secretary, urging sources to tell Fox News the two sides finalized the decision during the meeting Monday evening of Trump term. Tokyo, Asahi Group Holdings Limited, has agreed to buy Bird and assets in 5 Eastern European nations from Anheuser-Busch in Bedford. And in beef for 7.3 billion euros, the latest big overseas deal by Japanese food and drink industry that is struggling. A police officer was shot early Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee, and the suspect will be barricaded at a local inn. Hong Kong, when Donald Trump accepted a phone call from Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen, many Taiwanese were delighted that after the spotlight turned on into the diplomatic escalation. Brussels, British Prime Minister Theresa May will be left out of the that European counterparts have dinner without her in Brussels until this week to push for a quick Brexit. Tehran, Iran. Iran's president has ordered two of his top official cabinet who plans to respond to U.S. lawmakers passing a bill extending some economic sanctions by 10 years. Secretary General Ban Ki-moon addressed it in the General Assembly following the Assembly on the option above it. Resolution paid tribute to the Secretary of the United Nations. President warned Donald Trump by the shutting the U.S. intelligence community. He's flat in his final presidential interview with Daily Show host Trevor Noah of Obama Vice President Trump to listen to daily briefings. The polar vortex is set to return upon the United States this week. There are plenty of misconceptions about where the polar vortex is, as well as what is it. Police in Mexico, California shot and killed an unarmed 73-year-old man who was claiming was suffering from dementia. Details of the issue which occurred about 12:30 a.m. An Arizona police officer has lost his eye after a woman would be placed under arrest began erratic and started flailing her legs wildly. Chennai, India. India's National Disaster Management Authority said at least 10 people have died after Cyclone Vana struck the city of Chennai and its nearby suburbs. Aleppo, Syria. The UN Center reports forces that land in the Syrian regime in Aleppo has been killed as a spot in a complete meltdown of humanity. Jakarta. The major Jakarta, Indonesia, defended himself in a trial for the past he said he may have spoken poorly and denied intended assault on Islam. Brussels, giving the EU leaders have signed a deal Monday to normalize relations, including increase in business size and alter their interaction on human rights issues in Cuba. Washington, Donald Trump plans to endorse one of Romney McDaniel as Republican National Committee chair. Sources familiar with Detroit said. Baltimore, Virginia, the U.S. Department of Justice plans to investigate Virginia show 8 inmates in the Heights of 2002 and medical care reportedly denied an inmate. Brockton, Massachusetts officials say investigations are underway after Brockton, after a 2-year-old died several days after he was found unresponsive. Best Jordan, spokesman of the Office of Plymouth County District Attorney Truman Cruz told Enterprise Monday that the total of with injuries at the Massachusetts General Hospital around midnight Saturday strengthened the outcome on the nature of injuries. The boy had been hospitalized after police received a call from her at the response to child in Brockton about on December 5th. Chelsea, Massachusetts, every man when prosecutors say fled the country after hitting and killing a man with his car earlier this year has been ordered held on more than $50,000 bail. Unicredit to raise 30 billion euros in Italy's biggest share issue. When Viacom incumbent Rachel named Bob Backus the chief executive officer on Halloween, it seemed like he'd be gone as quick as you can say boo. Canada stock futures pointed out to open for the main stock indexes on Tuesday out of a U.S. Federal Reserve two-day meeting later today. It seems that Bill Gates has lost all hope about the prospects of clean energy innovation in the U.S. under President Donald Trump, according to an interview with Bloomberg. Paris production agreement from some of the top oil nations in the world to necessarily mean the glory, return of the glory days of one and all oil, Paris Space Agency said. Manila, growth of energy, hungry Asia economies that started to level off as a slowdown in India drugs out of regional movements and regional lenders said. Washington, with crude oil prices on a steady rally in the wake of deals cut by major producers, the U.S. gas price is likely more to decline and list spots. Also, Norway, for the first time in 5 years, the amount of greenhouse gas emitted as measured by economic activity stood still in the region and government said Tuesday. Block Island, temperatures has been in a wind farm for the coast of Rhode Island, power to the region for the first time in an officer capacity accompanying the dots. Down to down 58 points at 19,796.43. SP5 down 2.57 points at 256.96 and Nasdaq down 51.96 points at 5,412.54. Thousands of scientists are in San Francisco this week to talk about climate change, volcanoes, earthquakes, and evidence. Entitled topic: President Donald Trump. Cape Canaveral, Florida. NASA hopes to try to get wanted to launch 8 hurricane monitoring satellites in the rocket Trump high over the Atlantic Ocean. A lake of fresh water was found underneath the White Mennonite Shelf in eastern Arkansas, showing that the climate change is impacting the region. Drug use by the U.S. states at an all-time low. That's RFI Department. New survey by the U.S. London, financial insurance policy to financial health systems are undermined progress against malaria could jeopardize efforts to reach globally agreed targets in the way to the eventual elimination of the World Organization said on Tuesday. Patients with early breast cancer or socially isolated will have a higher risk of dying from the disease, a new study suggests. Women with fewer social ties, the friends, family, community, religious groups, as well as spouses were medic. Partian, therapeutics, phase 3, pregnancy with clinical trial, failed to meet primary endpoint. Peter Childers' arm is now 8:46 on this. Chosen on here, and it is time now for a spot support. Yesterday, last night, the New England Patriots defeat the Baltimore Ravens 30-23, and the Baltimore Ravens defeat the Montreal Canadiens in overtime 2-1. Tonight, the North Lancers boys basketball team will be squared off against Midway Muskets. Game time, 6:30 p.m. Phil Jackson comments about LeBron James Posse going to be forgotten anytime soon. Jay-Z and the honor president Cleveland Cavaliers started with the 2016 Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year award. Tom Brady once again makes MVP case. The NFL today announced that the 4 games that will take place in the next season, the first time the league will play 4 games, have a home scheduled regular season games in the UK capital. Odell Beckham Jr. saves shots, beats Cowboys. Peter Childers' arm is now 8:47 on this. Turn them on, and then it's time out for traffic and turns of the port. Baby! Let's imitate where Green East Land Ebert experiencing moderate eastbound delays in the stable train at Symphony. Orange Line experiencing moderate delays in both directions with track problem near Forest Hills. On the commuter rail, Fitchburg Line train 43748 from the station on 510 minutes behind between Waverly and Westchester to train traffic. Worcester train 557 from the substation is on 510 minutes behind between Yonke and Worcester. Breezeport, Worcester train 512 840 Worcester's on Buffalo of Cranston and Westboro. Newburyport train 16075 from Newburyport is on 510 minutes behind between Salem and North Station to train traffic. Brookport train 103 70 outbound is on 510 minutes behind between Swamps Cutter Rock and Stone Line train 907 825 from substations on 510 minutes behind between Forest Hills and Stoughton. Okay, look at that. Highways and byways of New England on this. Turns them on here. 95 south by side, about the Fairfield Island, Stafford, Merritt Parkway, west by side, about the Bridgeport down at Greenwich. Merritt Parkway, west by side, about the Hamilton, 95 Wolf is back up west 91 at New Haven, 91 at North by side, back to Middletown, 84 east by side, back to from West Haven to Hartford, Connecticut, 91 at south by side, back to from Route 20 Woodstock to 291 in Hartford, Connecticut. 84 east by side, back to Route 8 at Waterway. Route 80 at the north, south by side of Lowell, at South Waterway, Connecticut. 91 at the north by side, and it is backed up just right. Route today with the 57 at Springfield, 87 at South by side, and it is backed up from Boston Spot to Route 703, headed towards Albany. Down in central Massachusetts, Route 190 at the north by side, back over to West Boston, 190 south by side is slow before 290 in Worcester, 290 east by side, back to the northward, away to Route 485, 290 east by side, and it is backed up from 146 Route 9 in Worcester, and 146 on the north by side is back to around 290. 485 is south by side is backed up from Route 111 still all the way out to Route 20 Marlboro. Route 485 on the north by side, and it is backed up from 109 to Milford all the way to the Mass Bank. Out of it out, 146 in Milford is backed up from 99 to Road 04 in the North Smithfield. 99, the north by side is backed up from 126 to Route 122 of the Lincolns. 1 second stretch, 146 is south by side is backed up from 50 to Route 95, downtown opponents. 95, southbound side, expected from the technical to downtown opponents. 195, westbound side, it is expected from Seacock area to downtown opponents. 95, the northbound side, it is expected from 37 Work area to the downtown opponents. Jamestown, Newell, Ported Mountain Bridges out. Looking good out of the Cape 25, eastbound side, expected from Route 628 and Ware Model Way after the board stretch. Route 3 at the northbound side, it is expected from the Plymouth stretch, but the board and several bridges out. Looking at trains moving from Board of Falmouth and 6 from several to Northern Orleans. Mass Parking eastbound side, it is backed up from Natick all the way up to the Austin Brand Controls oriented downtown Boston. 95 the northbound side, back to Route 1 and Sheridan all the way Route 128 Canton. Route 24 to the northbound side, back to Harrison Boulevard, Avon to 128 Canton. And Route 3 to the northbound side, back to from Weymouth all the way up to the Braintree Split. 7 Expressway on both ends is backed up from JFK Library in Dorchester all the way up to the Braintree Split. 120 to the northbound side is back to Route 1 to Northern area to Route 20 Waltham. Mass Parking westbound side is back there from Lower down to South Boston. Route 1 of the southbound side is back there from Chelsea Highway to Route 93 out of Boston. 7 tunnels, slow Cali tunnels, looking good. 128 on the northbound side, it is back there from Braintree Split. It's Route 24 out of Canton. Route 128 on the northbound side, back to Route 1 to Northern to Route 20 Waltham. 128 southbound side, it is back up from Redden all the way up to Waltham. Here's 93 southbound side, it is backed up from 230 Minnesota all the way to the Zachem Bridge in Boston. 93 on the northbound side, back around long stretch. Route 3 on both ends is backed up from 62 to Bedford down to Route 3 in Burlington. And 3 southbound is back to 485. Low down to Millwick and 485 to northbound side. So Chelsea headed towards Route 3. No. 485 on the southbound side is back to Lawrence all the way to Route 93 out of the Lawrence. Up in Northern New England, 93 on both ends is back to 3rd after every turnpike southbound side is backed up around. Merrimack, Malden turnpike southbound side back to just around Route 4 Durham, New Hampshire. Route 101 at the eastbound side is back to Exeter all the way to Hampton. 295 on the southbound side, Little before the Falmouth Spur. Here's 889 southbound side, Little Burlington, Vermont. But otherwise, I was from Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, looking good. Peter Childusab is now 8:52 on this. To the morning, and it's time now for a weather report. And take a look at radar, and it shows a few spotty snow showers here. Up in Vermont, from south of South Lincoln, Vermont, stretching all the way east to Jerusalem, down to Bills, Hanksville, up to Huntington Center, through Bolton and around Stevensville, and south of South Cambridge and around Cambridge Junction up in Vermont. And to the west of us, spotty snow showers from north of Little Falls and upstate New York, stretching it up around Watertown and Winchell, New York, and curving it up to Messina, and stretch around the northeastern Ontario from Cornwall all the way around Ottawa and up in the northern Dame Dulas and up in Quebec. And seeing some spotty snow showers, Princeville and Victoriaville and up in the east central Quebec. And seeing some spotty snow showers from eastern Quebec, down to New Brunswick, and central and eastern portions of Nova Scotia, and snow showers by the western and eastern portions of Prince Edward Island here. And seeing a lot of snow showers from Missouri around St. Louis, stretching to central Illinois, Indiana, and around Ohio, and from northwest West Virginia and northeast West Virginia. And seeing some rain showers from the Carolinas all the way down for the 7 states, from Georgia down to Louisiana, down from Southeastern Texas, and rain showers from Western Kentucky down to Tennessee. All right, 7-day forecast. It goes like this. Oh, how's the weather outlook Thursday night to Friday morning? Dangerously cold wind chills at 10 to 25 below zero. Forecasting as low as dropping to single digits at northwest winds at gusts 25, 45 miles an hour, with a low risk at 56 miles per hour gusts and combination wind chill headlines is likely. Saturday, given storm spot forecast potential reaching advisory at level of northwest portions of Massachusetts and Connecticut prior to transition of rain late Saturday to Saturday night. There has been a possibility for a brief period of sleet and or freezing rain. Okay, 7-day forecast. It goes like this. For today, increased skies about 400 degrees, light variable wind. Tonight, a chance of snow showers maybe between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. Cloud skies low about 29 degrees, light variable wind. Precipitation 30%. Little to no circulation expected for Wednesday. Mostly cloud skies, gradual component sunny sky about 38 degrees, and west about 3 to 7 miles an hour for Wednesday night. Chance of snow may after 1 a.m. Costco about 21 degrees and light west wind increasing 5 to 9 miles an hour. Evening, what's going to 28 miles an hour. Chance of 30%. Little dose to give expected for Thursday and chance of snow. Sunday, skies about 25 degrees. West wind about 9 to 50 miles of gusts 26 miles an hour. Chance of 30%. Night, a chance of snow made before 8 p.m. Costco about 4 degrees. Chance of 30%. Friday, says got about 18 degrees. Friday night, chance of snow after 11 p.m. Then Costco. With a low on 10 degrees at just 50%. Saturday, snow light before 1 p.m. Then rain likely, possibly mixed with snow. Class got about high about 41 degrees at just 7%. Sunday at just rain, class got about 39 degrees at just 40%. Sunday, rain likely, class got about 50 degrees at just 7%. Saturday night, rain, class got low at 22 degrees at Monday, both skies got about 32 degrees. In Taunton, it's 32 degrees with fair skies with a humidity of 66%. Here, not near, it is. First, guys, we have a temperature of 29 degrees, humidity 99%, and here in Mansfield, it's 28 degrees, and that is going to be it for the Peter Channel Morning News on December 13th, 2016 on a Tuesday. I'm Peter saying you have a good day with good vibes tonight. You have a good morning, and I'll see you at noontime for the noontime report. You have a good morning.